Hi Pisces, how's it going? I hope you're doing awesome today. Welcome to my channel. This is going to be a general reading for the month of August, okay? Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. So just take what resonates and leave the rest. I'm going to be pulling a 10-card Celtic cross spread from this deck. I'm using the Celtic Tarot deck. I did pull one oracle card before we get started. And you got shark. It says swim away from this situation. Think of this as the Lover's card reversed from the traditional tarot. You've been hanging around a bloodthirsty shark and they've hurt you before. This could refer to a lover, or it could refer to another loved one, such as a friend or family member. To put it simply, you deserve better treatment, Pisces, and you're never going to find it with them. So just leave now. Situations like this often grow so dire that you no longer feel safe swimming away. So get out while you can, basically. Easier said than done, but you got to do what's best for you, right, Pisces? Okay, let's pull 10 cards for a Celtic cross spread, and then we'll go through them individually. This card jumped out. This is a really important message because this card, let me just show you. I make notes when I'm shuffling. Can you see that? Pisces August, Two of Swords. This card jumped out when I was shuffling. So, very important message. Then we have 10 of Swords. Then we have the Tower. What's going on, Pisces? Then you have the Knight of Swords reversed. Ace of Swords. Eight of Swords. Wow. Okay, what's all this about? Rebirth, Judgment card. Five of Swords. Queen of Wands. And the Moon. So some major arcana cards here. Okay, so your first card that jumped out when I was shuffling and is a very important message is the Two of Swords. This card is represented by Libra. This card's about difficult choices, denial, restraint, painful choices. That's it all, like, this is the main message of your reading, you know, like someone's hurt you, someone really important to you, or it could be a situation. They've hurt you, friends or family or a lover has hurt you. This could be about that choice, that painful choice of having to walk away. There's hidden information. You're unable to see the truth at this time. Action is needed. This is a card of truth, denial, difficult decisions. It's a card of blindness. You're weighing up your options. You're at an impasse. You're stuck in the middle. You're caught in the middle. You're facing your fears, though. You're at a crossroads. You're being torn between two relationships. This card represents an impending breakup or rift, blocked emotions. Libra energy, stressful decisions. You know, this card talks about the inability to move ahead. There's a sense of being bound together with someone or something. So you're dealing with two conflicting ideas or a challenging decision, but you're not willing to face the situation. You've closed your eyes to it. Rather than view it rationally, your emotions are getting the better of you. This card suggests that the situation would benefit more from a rational decision than from an emotional one. And again, it could also represent a truce or a stalemate. A strained situation. A decision is required between two alternatives. This card represents the necessity for courage to overcome this state of fear. This impasse that you're dealing with will be broken by confronting the facts. Blind justice. This card is implying that the current situation is the outcome of previous deeds. A judgment or choice can be made based on the facts, and your situation can be overcome. Okay? Confronting the facts and deciding. A stalemate. You're unable to see a way out. The future is uncertain. This is a very difficult situation, Spirit is saying. Very hard to predict. But Spirit is saying that you need to walk away with your oracle message. You feel like you're not able to move forward because you can't figure out with logic or intellect how to proceed. You must rely on blind faith that the universe will handle things. You're stuck. Maybe you're maintaining the situation by putting up a facade and are ignoring the underlying tension that exists. It's an uncomfortable position to be in, but you're not ready to do anything about it yet. Spirit wants you to speak up, communicate clearly. Change must take place. You do have choices. Remove the blindfold and look honestly at the situation. Okay? And then your second card is the Ten of Swords. Second card represents what's crossing you or what's challenging you or your situation. This is a card of destruction. So is this. This is destruction, betrayal. This is Gemini energy. This is victimization. It's telling you to have a new understanding, a fresh perspective. It's backstabbing, it's painful endings, deep wounds, loss, severing ties, goodbyes, being a little bit of a martyr, maybe playing the victim a little bit. Just take it how it resonates. If it doesn't resonate, just ignore it. It's a card of victimization, the inability to cope. Could be a little bit of attention seeking, a loss, a dead end, goodbyes, severing ties. This card's saying that something's over. You've worked at it, but you've fought and worked at it, but you can't change the situation. There's no fixing it. You might want to try one last time, but Spirit is saying it's over. It's a strange moment because you thought you'd feel a lot more pain and distress, but actually you feel calm and peaceful because deep down you're relieved that you don't have to fight it anymore. Okay? It's a card of completion. This card is about deep and profound loss. You may be feeling a loss in your personal life or work. Maybe a part of you, maybe you feel like a part of you has died suddenly, but you're now receptive to something fresh and energizing. Something's been completed. This is a card of completion, but also growth on a higher level. Just as death also represents rebirth. Your 7th card, your self-image card, you got rebirth. Your lower ego self must die for your higher self to experience spiritual awakening. Like I said earlier, this marks the end of one chapter and the start of a new one in your life. Before you can progress, you must let go of the old, outdated patterns of thinking. Every time I pull a daily card and then I do a reading after, it resonates. I just did a reading. I just pulled a daily card. If you want to have a look at it, before this video that I'm posting, and it came, the card that came out, the oracle card that came out was Villain, and it says that you can always rewrite the story. A hard truth to swallow. You got a lot of swords in your reading. Swords are about truth. A hard truth to swallow. Sometimes our villains win. But that doesn't mean that you should give up or lose all hope. It just means that it's time for you to rewrite your story and keep going. You know, it can be incredibly freeing and empowering to reclaim yourself after a personal tragedy. That's the daily message that came out today for everyone, the collective. If you want to have a look at that. This is a card of disappointment, disillusion, and false hopes. But you're gonna have a fresh outlook now. You're going to see the truth now. You're gonna have clarity and understanding. The 10 of Swords could represent deception. Deception, treachery, or stress, which could lead to physical illness when understanding is lacking. So Spirit really wants you to look at the situation logically. Look at the facts, okay? Be true to yourself. Be real with yourself. Don't deceive yourself. Don't trick yourself, okay? It's serious. It could make you, the situation could make you physically ill, okay? Don't be afraid of it. You do have choices. You need to make a clean break from the past and its attendant pain and suffering. Whether this means a divorce, quitting a job, moving across the country, or changing a belief system. Spirit wants you to make the break cleanly, leaving no loose ends, and do away with previous illusions that have clouded your vision. And try not to worry, Pisces. Okay? This card marks the beginning of the end of a period of trials and tribulations, but it also signifies the start of a new cycle. But first you have to clear away the debris of the old cycle, and often this process is painful. Stress and exhaustion may accompany the appearance of the Ten of Swords. And now you have a Tower moment. This is all about massive changes, big changes in your life, but it's for the better. Know that it's for the better, okay? The Tower is about, again, destruction, confusion, pain. It could be a divorce, some kind of tragedy. It's a card of loss again, unexpected change, sudden upheavals, having an awakening. It's a card of release. This card indicates a major change in your life or your belief system. Be prepared for emotional upheaval and distressing events. This major change that you're going to experience, or that you've experienced, or that you're experiencing now, will create a spiritual epiphany that will allow you to eliminate all that is no longer useful or good for you. Lies and half-truths will be revealed. It's kind of like a purification. Whatever is solid and good will remain. You'll have a foundation that has survived trial by fire, and then you can rebuild with confidence once the dust has settled. Okay? Some kind of exhilarating change that turns your world upside down. And these changes can be disruptive, but they are necessary, and they promise a positive outcome. It could be a breakup of relationships or lifestyles. It could be about financial losses. This card suggests going through an unstable phase. You might receive shocking news. You might hear of or you might experience a sudden revelation, or it could represent a destruction of something corrupt. It could have something to do with your health, a loss of property, a change of residence, a loss of job, a separation of relationships. Again, just take how it resonates, leave the rest, and remember the Tower is for the better. It's for your best, okay? The Tower doesn't necessarily represent ruin and devastation. Its appearance in a reading does suggest swift and dramatic change, and sometimes extremely upsetting change. You might have brought the situation on yourself by ignoring or denying that something needs restructuring or deconstructing. But most likely you're already well aware of a pressing need to make changes, but you haven't been able to take action yet. Then all of a sudden a crisis comes along. Again, like, for example, losing a job, getting a divorce, an accident, or maybe a financial setback. and you have no choice but to face reality. This card can represent the crumbling of an old, outworn structure which you can liken to your life. You might have to end an unsatisfactory relationship, quit a stifling job, cast off false values, shuck social conventions that are limiting your progress, or you might have to conserve money and live more simply. Destroy the old structures before they destroy you so you can become free. In the wake of this chaos, a new order will grow. Then you can pick and choose among the rubble to decide what is worth saving, and from that you can rebuild your life in accordance with who you truly are. Okay? Remember, it's for the best. The tower can represent overthrowing false beliefs and habits that don't serve you. So it's not a negative card, it's a positive one. You're experiencing some kind of loss, either personal or financial. But this catastrophic event could have been foreseen if you had been aware and willing to face facts. What's destroyed in conjunction with this card has served its purpose and needs to go. And then your fourth card is the Knight of Swords reversed. When a card comes out reversed, it just means you're getting extra protection from Spirit, okay? This is Gemini energy. This can be male or female in a general reading. The Knight of Swords reversed can represent a bully, someone who is restless, insincere, unfocused, forceful, burnout, arrogant, someone who disregards consequences, is unpredictable, forceful, aggressive, someone who's heading for a fall, someone who... This knight loses his aggressiveness and becomes passive about a situation that requires action. He could suggest that you're delaying doing what is necessary. Maybe neglecting necessary grunt work or communication. But unfortunately, there could be serious repercussions from avoiding this work. Maybe you're mentally closed off from a situation that desperately needs attention, thereby creating bad feeling and opposition. Maybe you're having to deal with this Knight of Swords. This person can be a braggart or even a liar. He's someone who tells stories to bolster his own self-esteem, someone who tries to gain the respect of others. He can lack compassion and take pleasure in verbally embarrassing people. Okay? A troublemaker, someone who is deceitful, and someone who can be violent too, especially because you have the Tower card there. The Tower card with the Knight of Swords reversed. This Knight of Swords can be violent, argumentative. Okay? This person has a inferiority complex. Someone who is out of their depth, out of control. Someone who's leading others to danger. It could be a criminal, a coward, a follower, a know-it-all, someone who's heading for a fall. And then your immediate future, what's likely to happen very soon in your life, you have the Ace of Swords. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy. Well, this card is about clear thinking, having clarity, having a breakthrough. It's a card of new ideas again. It's a card of justice, reason, realizing the truth, having a sharp mind. You are going to make the correct decision with this card. This card is about beginnings and endings again, aces and tens, having mental clarity, making new plans. It's having hope. It's a card of justice, victory, going in a new direction, having a vision, focus, conquest, authority. So this card represents the gift of knowledge and understanding. You can expect a flash of insight or an idea that will help solve a particularly sticky problem or experience, a moment of truth. And if you want to communicate something with clarity and just the right words, the energy to accomplish that is present at this time. This card also represents a new point of view, discovery, or intellectual achievement, a new beginning. This card, this ace, indicates a triumph over difficulties through the use of mental means or spiritual growth. It's emblematic of a major breakthrough. This card says a brand new lifestyle is beginning for you, and you've achieved this opportunity through willpower and by making smart decisions. Prosperity, recognition, new development, especially spiritual growth, are sure to follow in the wake of your new direction in life. This ace could also represent a birth, usually of an idea or enterprise. Pisces, you're in a position to manifest your intentions in a new way now. But yeah, you're going to have some kind of breakthrough. Some kind of a new idea. It's a card of success. It's a card of principles, ideals, strength. This card is telling you to never surrender. It can represent strong forces at play, which may herald problems, but you have the ability to overcome these obstacles. You just have to have the right mindset, okay? It's time for you to make decisions and move in a new direction, okay? And then the outcome that you desire most in your situation is the Eight of Swords, upright. This is Gemini energy again. This card says, it's talking about victimized again. It's talking about victimization, self-victimization, feeling trapped. Crisis occurred. Victim mentality. It's a card of ignorance, the inability to act, feeling trapped, hopeless, isolation from others, indecision, anxiety, feeling powerless, feeling paralyzed by fear. It's a card of judgment, having a negative attitude, consequences. Another very difficult card to get. So you know how you got the Two of Cards? Let me just show you here. You got the Two of Cards and Two of Swords, and you got the Eight of Swords. See how she's both blindfolded? The Eight of Swords is related to that of the Two, except that the Two indicates denial, while the Eight suggests that you are conscious of the choices available to you. But despite this, you feel trapped, either unable or unwilling to choose, and therefore stuck in a painful state. Spirit is saying that you are your own worst enemy. This is a very, unfortunately, negative card, Pisces. It describes a situation that causes great unhappiness, but you can change matters. Okay? The bad situation is temporary. This card represents a situation in which you feel helpless. Problems surround you. You feel trapped, and that no matter where you look, danger, obstacles, and problems confront you. But the card also suggests that while the situation probably is as bad as you think, escape is possible. You're not stuck there. You do have choices, okay? The constraints and limitations that this card implies are frequently self-imposed and persist due to fear and indecision. Any positive action has the power to end the stagnation. Okay? There is a better place where you would be safe. It's your fears, your refusal to confront the situation, and your inability to make decisions that are keeping you imprisoned or limiting your movement. You need to be brave when faced with problems and face them head on in order for you to solve them. You can't be paralyzed by your fears forever. Okay? If you don't do it, the universe will step in and do it. Trust me on that one. Trust me on that one, Pisces. Okay? And then your self-image card, how you see yourself. You got the Judgment card. It says rebirth on this card, but this is the Judgment card. This is all about purpose again is coming up. Renewal, acceptance, and awakening is coming up again. Having an inner calling. You're being called to face your past before moving on. It's time to acknowledge whatever happened, accept it, and let it go. Pisces, you've learned so much and you've been through so much. You now have the wisdom and strength to free yourself from your past. A time for change is at hand. A new job, a new relationship, a new way of life. But this time, you're more in control. You've decided to heed the call. You have the experience and knowledge to move forward. You just have to make your final farewells. You're having a personal awakening, Pisces. You're turning away from a traditional set of beliefs and toward one that better suits your personal philosophy of life. Again, this card is talking about the end of an old way of life, a cycle that is finished. It's time for you to seek a new direction, to make adjustments that reflect who you truly are. It's a very positive card. It symbolizes regeneration and rebirth after a period of confusion and confinement. Maybe you felt dead in your old life. You have a unique opportunity to enliven yourself and your environment by making the appropriate changes. It's a time of freedom to be yourself. Okay? You've had some kind of wake-up call from the universe. You're now ready to step into that new phase of your maturing process. Your life is fairly settled now. You're letting things grow at a steady pace. A new phase in your life is coming into being as the natural result of your maturity. You might be getting important news soon that will prove beneficial, or you might learn something new that will bring you joy and a sense of fulfillment. Your health improves, and problems are easily solved with the Judgment card. Total transformation. This card talks about an inescapable positive shift, like the Tower card, okay? Even though it appears to be unfavorable, at first, this card also represents being rewarded for your past efforts. It's a card of reevaluation, responsibility, outcome, resolution, acceptance. You have a new lease of life. You're going through a transformation. You're making major decisions. You're dealing with big changes. This card is telling you that healing has taken place. You're having a spiritual awakening. This card represents the death of the old self, your old self, the death of a previous lifestyle. And then your environment, or how others see you in your situation, you have the Five of Swords, and it came out upright as well. Okay, so this card represents your environment, or how others see you. It's Aquarius energy. This is bullying again. This is intimidation, conflict again, hostility again, self-sabotaging behavior, arguments, facing consequences again, serious conflict. It's violence again, winning at all costs. It's stress, it's sneakiness, a lack of communication. It's standing up for yourself. It's a card of victory, fighting back. Loss again, deception again, self-sacrifice, it's surrender again, destruction again. Wow, a lot of destruction. Spirit really is bringing out destruction a lot. Walking away, hostility, aggression, abandonment. So the Five of Swords can suggest the double-edged nature of the sword. One edge signifies defeat, misfortune, betrayal, and loss, and the other suggests learning to accept the boundaries we all must face and live with. Fives are about adjustment. This five indicates that you're adjusting to some kind of change brought on by distress or loss. It's an uncomfortable process, but a necessary one. Change is a part of life, and the more you resist it, the more difficult you make things for yourself. Whether you need to change your exercise habits, your self-care routines, or your self-limiting beliefs. Spirit is saying that now is the time to address those things that are holding you back. Okay? This card could indicate or represent the end of an argument or a clash of some sort. The winner is ambitious and may have won by aggressive or less than honorable methods. Remember the daily card that I mentioned to you earlier? The villain card? You can go back if you want and have a look at that card. The card I pulled out for today. But the message is a hard truth to swallow is sometimes our villains win. But that doesn't mean you should give up or lose all hope. It just means that it's time to rewrite the story and keep going. It can be incredibly freeing and empowering to reclaim yourself after a personal tragedy. So like, you know, it's just like the Rocky poster I have on the side of my fridge, that this is how I raised my sons. You know, life beats us down. Life beats us down, and it's not about how many times we get beaten down, knocked down. It's about how many times we get knocked down and keep getting back up. The message is you need to get back up, Pisces. Okay, brush yourself off, heal a bit, ask your angels and guides to help you, which they will. It's their job. Take your power back. Okay? Don't feel sorry for yourself. Everybody goes through things. Every single person gets beaten down. It's life. But you have the strength and courage to get back up. That's what Spirit is saying. Okay? This card indicates a situation where someone put their needs above the needs of others and is only concerned for their own interests. You will know if you're the winner or the one running away. When anxiety rises, it elicits strong emotions which can lead to wrong actions. The Five of Swords represents a victorious person who appears to be invincible. Others surrender to this person. The message of this card is to swallow your pride and accept your limitations before progressing upwards and onwards. The victor stood their ground and won. This card could also represent, it could also be telling you that someone must give up fighting the wrong battles and try standing their ground for something that can be won. This card can represent banging your head against a brick wall, taking on something that is far too massive. The advice from Spirit with this card is to acknowledge the limitations and move forward in a more beneficial, and move forward in a new, more beneficial direction. Okay? This card is very similar to the Tower. It could represent an unexpected bad omen, but this situation cannot be avoided. For example, a repossession of a home, for example. This card is all about underhanded tactics, lies, gossip, or malice that could be the cause of your struggle. This card is advising you to review your situation and adjust your thoughts or your perspective on the matter. Okay? Which Spirit already said, having a new perspective. And then your ninth card is your hopes and fears, what you hope for and fear the most in your situation. And you have the Queen of Wands, upright, Aries energy. So again, very determined, independent, courageous, confident. This is you taking charge, organizing your life. Start smart planning, confident, self-assured, passionate, determined. This card can represent motherhood. Someone who's vibrant, creative, wise, intuitive, independent. The Queen of Wands, and again, can be male or female in a general reading. This is what you hope for and or fear the most in your situation. This Queen represents someone who is in a position of authority and shines in her endeavors. She is warm, generous, loving, honorable, creative, intelligent, friendly, mature. Her advice is well worth taking. She will be a loyal confidant or provide valuable assistance. She's a natural leader. She may be the head of a business, social, or philanthropic organization. She could indicate that now is a good time for you to move forward in a business or creative venture. If this Queen is you, Pisces, Spirit is saying that you have the qualities within yourself that you need to succeed. Okay? This Queen is a natural leader who loves to plan and organize events. She can be a transformative force in the lives of others. New activities and challenges delight her. She's outgoing, has a natural interest in people. She is well loved by those around her. Always helps her friends without getting distracted from what she values most. But if she's ever crossed, she fights back fiercely, like a lioness. She can successfully run a house and a family while still finding energy and motivation to pursue her own passions and aspirations. A very capable entrepreneur. She can be an enabler. She's a kind and practical woman. And then your future, if all is to remain as is, you got the Moon card. Major Arcana, represented by Pisces. This card is about fears again, anxiety, illusions again, imagination, intuition. It represents feelings. It represents dreams. Be prepared to be both frightened and inspired with the Moon card. Pay attention to your dreams. Carefully separate your intuition from your fears and follow your intuition at this time. maybe have a dream journal beside your bed too, in case Spirit is trying to send you some messages through your dreams, okay? Pay careful attention to your dreams. Great inspiration is at hand, but it won't be an easy journey. The moon symbolizes what we feel and how we respond. The moon affects everything and everyone on earth, from the ocean's tides to the moods and reproductive cycles of humans. For artistic people, this card represents a time of increased imagination and creativity. Your future message is that you should pay more attention to your inner self, your lunar self, okay? The light of the sun enables you to see the world around you, but the moon illuminates what springs naturally from inside you, okay? Really pay attention to your dreams, your feelings, your instincts, and your intuition. This card is about deceit again. Spirit is bringing up deceit, self-deception, confinement, and undoing. But these conditions are usually a result of ignoring your own inner promptings. If you get taken, especially emotionally, it's because you let your rational mind override your feelings. The moon in a reading can also recommend tying up loose ends connected to the past, especially to your mother or other females. You're becoming more aware of feelings and inner perceptions. For some of you, this card suggests psychic ability. You're able to tune into other people's vibrations because you're connected to the energetic network around you. Really work on your intuitive skills at this time, okay? The moon can represent hidden wisdom. The moon is related to the night and represents darkness, confusion, and a lack of clarity. But as the moon cycle changes over time, Spirit is saying the truth will be revealed through your intuition or your dreams. Some of you are going to receive psychic impressions and information from your dreams. You're going to experience an unexpected change in a situation or with your feelings. With the moon card, there may be a need for more sleep. This card is telling you to rely on yourself. Be careful of mood swings and emotional changes. This card indicates that there are hidden issues, unspoken anxieties, and receiving guidance through your dreams, okay? Hidden issues, unspoken anxieties, and guidance through your dreams. So it's probably a really good idea to put a dream journal beside your bed in case you wake up and you remember before, so you don't forget the message. You don't miss the message that Spirit is giving you. Okay, Pisces? So that is your reading. I hope you received some guidance or insight. If you did, please like, share, subscribe, leave me a comment. I would love to hear from you. I'm sending you lots of love and strength. Take good care. Bye.